Yo guys, what's up? Corey the Sandman Sandhagen here. Hey, doing some more post-fight breakdowns. We may or may not call them Casuals University. I don't know. I don't really like the name, but other people are telling me that it's like a cute YouTube name. So I don't know. Maybe we'll keep doing that. But we already did Youssef and Barboza. Now we're going to get into, in another video, now we're going to get into, I want to talk about Jonathan Martinez's fight with Yanez. And then I want to talk about, you're going to have to help me with the name again, Elias. Pereira? Pereira. My tongue don't do that movement, dude. Pereira, and how he knocked that I'm really bad with names, man. He knocked the one dude out. Sorry, I'm so horrible with names. Let's get into a couple of the breakdowns. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Like, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so the first fight, let's get into it. Elias, you want to come help me? You can also help me say his name. Pereira?
Michel Pereira.
Michel?
Back.
Michel Pereira. Michel Pereira. Pereira. Michel Pereira. This is how he won, okay? I want to talk about this fight just because the last week that we did some videos, I talked about how Dawson was being this ungrounded guy and Bobby Green was being that really grounded guy. An ungrounded guy has to have really good footwork, or not really good footwork, but really good timing in order to beat someone that's grounded, because if me and Elias are going to get into a race, stand like we're about to fucking race, okay? And I'm doing, yeah, and he's doing that or whatever, and I'm doing something like this, and they say go, and we both take off. I hope that they say go when this back foot is on the ground and not when it's up in the air, because I'm not going to be able to go immediately, all right? So that's a big deal, because when you're being bouncy guy, if I'm being bouncy guy like this and I want to try to hit Elias, I have to ground myself first and then attack, where if Elias is already a grounded guy, he's going to be able to hit me first most of the time. Like I said, unless I use other like tools in order to make it really difficult for Elias to tell things, which we're not going to get into in this video, but that's an important note. So Pereira did a really good job, and I think that it really exemplifies what like a mover can be, but also ground himself to the floor really well, which, like I said, is super important. So Pereira doesn't have this big bounce like Dawson did last week. Okay, he's moving a lot closer to the floor. You can tell his feet aren't picking up off the floor very much. He's moving here like this. And he was able to fire off a right hand much quicker than someone that's like this is capable of doing, okay? So the beginning, I mean, the fight ended really, really quick, but, you know, there's a little bit of movement. Pereira never loses contact with the ground enough to where it looked sketchy at all, even though he was being a mover a lot of the time with his feet or with his hands kind of down, not like this type of guy, okay? Pereira moves, boom. He gets in line, he fires off his right hand immediately because he's already mostly connected to the floor, connects, shuffles in or big steps in, and throws his right hand. It was beautiful. It was awesome. Congratulations to that dude. Good luck on the next fight, the other guy that he fought. Sorry, I'm really not good at video stuff, but I'm getting better. I'm getting better. All right. And then the other fight, Jonathan Martinez against Adrian Yanez, okay? Immediately right off the bat, Yanez kind of has this really big bounce that is really not his typical style of fighting. Obviously, I'm assuming that that's because Martinez is a really good kicker. And you can kind of just tell in some people, and I can't really put my finger on it because I don't want it to be like, oh, a guy has muscles, they're really strong. It's not one of those things, because I've trained with plenty of guys where they looked like these jacked, like cartoon characters, and then you grab them and you're like, this is a joke. Like, not that they're weak, but it's like, this is a joke. But there's something about in the way that Martinez look. Cheeto also has like a very similar look to him, where they just look like dense guys. Like they just look like not thicker or like more muscular or anything like that. They just have like a dense look to him, and you could tell that Martinez is definitely a dense dude, obviously, because he took Yanez out with, I don't know, it was on like the second or third low kick. I would be really curious to ask Yanez what actually happened when he did get kicked, because when you rewind it and watch, obviously Jonathan's a southpaw, so the inside low kick is like a super devastating shot. But the way that and where he kicked him, I hope we're in frame, is he kicked him kind of on the knee a little bit with his foot is what it looked like, okay? I can't really tell because I'm only watching on the ESPN videos or whatever, but that was the one that kind of like took his leg out a little bit. And I know that when you get hit like in that gap of your knee, it kind of just makes your knee feel like it's dead. And I'm really curious to see if that was what Yanez was experiencing or not. But long story short, if you're a lefty, it's a super good idea to invest in getting a really, really good inside low kick. I don't think I ended the fight like this, but I had one of my professional fights before I got signed to the UFC where I was like starching this guy on the inside of his leg. He was a lefty, I was a righty, but I was tagging the inside of his leg, and he pretty much did what Yanez did, where you can only take so many of those. He fell over, so it's an incredibly, like, you get a ton of juice for the squeeze on that inside low kick. So if me and Elias are fighting each other, I'm already cocked, okay? Like, I look at my rear side as something that's already cocked and loaded. I don't need to cock and load my backside in really any striking scenario, okay? Like, I can fire this almost immediately. When we're talking left or our lead leg, usually people will switch first or like get a lot of momentum by like swinging and stepping. If I'm throwing my right hook, like usually there's a little load and then a right hook, except for kind of the jab and maybe like some really, really short hooks. This side of things doesn't really, like it needs to be loaded. That's why this back leg is really important, and getting hit on the inside of the leg just sucks in general. Like most guys aim here. It doesn't hurt as bad, in my opinion, to get hit in the outside of the leg as much as it does on the inside. So he's here. He's also super good at keeping good range, okay? Boom, cracks him here. It's like such a fast, sharp attack. It hurts the other guy real bad. The only time that it's really not the most fun to throw it is when you get a guy, that's your messed up foot?
I'm good.
Oh, okay. I guess I could just kick you. But when I go to kick the inside of Elias's leg and he turns this knee down, boom, and I hit his knee with my foot, the knee bone is a much bigger bone than all the bones that I have in my toes, so typically that's going to be the one that wins. That's when it really, really sucks, okay? So when we're here like this, I have to make sure that I'm nailing him there. I don't typically want to hit him. I mean, if I am going to hit his knee, I'd much rather hit like the, don't turn it in. I'd rather hit kind of like the outside of his knee. If he turns his knee in and makes it like this is a structurally sound knee, boom, and you hit that, that's really, really going to suck. And by structurally sound, I just mean like if Elias was like, hey, dude, I'm going to hit you with a baseball bat as hard as I can in your knee, but you get to say where it happens, I'm going to be like, okay, I'm going to brace it forward. I'm not going to be like, yeah, dude, rip it right into there or rip it right into here. I guess maybe the back wouldn't hurt that bad, but that's kind of hard to kick someone there. I'd probably be like, yeah, dude, just whack it like straight because it's probably going to hurt the least. That's what you want to do when people start kicking the inside of your leg. It's actually a super easy check too. It was just something that Yanez really wasn't able to do. My guess would be is because he drilled a bunch of bounciness and getting out of the way of it instead of like just being a little bit more grounded, which is how he typically fights, and then just turning his knee in. That maybe would have been the way that I maybe would have approached it, but get out the video, let me do this outro. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe and do all of that stuff. Comment below if we're sticking with Casuals University or just post-fight breakdowns with your boy, Corey Sandman Sandhagen. Have a good weekend or week or whatever it is when you're watching this. Peace, I love you, goodbye.